Hello everyone, this is Balbud, and for one last time I'm joined by Aramenko.
I'm so happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, last episode.
Last episode. Hold up.
You're finally free after this, you can go do other things.
Yeah, except instead of bursting forth to freedom, I've agreed to be involved in the next project as well. So
Yeah, absolute
something
sucker.
for
No
our
escape.
viewers and listeners to look forward to, right? Right?
Fingers crossed.
Right?
Don't promise anything before we even started it.
No, exactly. What's on the agenda for today then?
So, last time we talked about getting kind of the game pretty much finished and then leaving Japan.
We did. You left us on a bit of a cliffhanger there.
Yeah, so my plan was to go to Canada, get my computer set up, and then immediately release the game for sale.
And that plan didn't work out because...
Well, when I got to Canada, the job I thought I was going to get, I didn't get. The place I thought I was going to be staying, I wasn't staying. And so I ended up staying on a friend's sofa for like 2 months,
Yikes.
which meant I couldn't set up my computer and I didn't have a job.
Yes.
I still don't have a job, but that's unrelated.
But jobs just get in the way of releasing games.
Exactly. That's a good way to look at it.
Exactly.
And before that, I actually went to the UK for 10 days to visit Sam, the guy that keeps popping up.
Yep, the guy who you can't escape from on this show. Sam is as much of a character here as you and I.
Or the Jack Troll.
Oh, the Jack Troll, yeah, he's the main character. in this show.
We're second out to him.
Definitely.
But actually, when I was in the UK, Sam was nice enough to let me use his computer to record footage, because when I was in Japan, I was trying to record footage for the trailer,
Okay.
and my computer would just overheat every time. I couldn't play the game and
Aish.
record at the same time.
Was it Japanese summer, by any chance?
It was like 42 degrees outside usually.
Shit, man, that is gonna overheat your computer like crazy.
Yeah, it was like 90 degrees just idle most of the time.
Yeah.
It was a complete mess. But so when I went to the UK, I actually recorded all the footage then, and then went to Canada and edited it together.
Yeah, okay, and then rendered it.
After 2 months, I finally got a computer set up and everything.
Rendered it in the frozen wastelands of Canada because your computer could handle the heat there.
Right? It's like everything's liquid cooled.
Yeah.
Just from the air around
The
it.
entire country is liquid cooled.
During those sort of, 2.5 months where I couldn't work on the game,
Mm-hmm.
I was just constantly thinking about the game. It was like so annoying that it was done, but I couldn't upload it.
Yeah, it was just there, ready to go.
Yeah, and so I kept thinking about it more and more and more. And eventually got lots of ideas of what to change and what's working and what's not.
Yeah.
And so when I did get my PC, instead of just uploading it, of course I went back and did more work because, I love giving myself more
You couldn't
work
help
to do.
yourself.
And it was honestly, it was the most productive I've been though. Again, I had no job, so I had a lot of free time. And I'd been thinking about it for 2.5 months, so I knew exactly what needed to be changed and how.
Yeah. It was all in your head. You'd sort of written it down in the old internal monologue.
Exactly. It's like then the Matrix where he just sees the code and just knows everything.
Yeah.
Straight in, everything just changed first time, perfect.
So you came back. So when you got your computer set up, you came back to the game, and your fingers were like musician on a piano. They were just like singing
Yeah,
the
exactly.
code straight out, like when you see someone hacking in a TV show.
Yeah,
It's just like
it was like that. It was like one of them terrible hacking scenes in movies.
Yeah, that one way in the Hacker Man little mini video on the internet where he's runs into a computer shop and just goes to every keyboard and starts. That was bad.
The
That was
Mega
bad
64
finishing the
one.
game. Yeah, exactly.
It was actually really fun to work on it during that time because there was zero issues. It was just straight through, and it was such constant improvement.
That last final
It
push.
wasn't churning out one
Yeah.
feature, so that was very satisfying. And eventually got it finished. It's yeah, easy as that. See, it only took 4 and a bit
Yeah.
episodes, no 5 and a bit episodes.
And
got
there it
to
is,
zero.
a game ready to launch, ready to go. And
Easy as that.
how easy is it to get a game, to take your game and put it on Steam?
So there is actually a lot more that goes into it than what you might think.
Okay.
Christmas Day, I was working non-stop. It was self-imposed crunch time. And on Christmas Day, I actually got the game finished.
I'm going to report you to the authorities. You can't make your staff work on Christmas Day, by the way. Even if your staff is just you, that is not acceptable.
So I wasn't doing anything else, it's fine. I was living my best Grinch life.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'll let it slide in this occasion then. But if you try and make me work on Christmas Day next time, there's going to be problems.
After Christmas Day, I was just working purely on the Steam stuff.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many pictures and stuff you need for Steam. I thought it'd be like, one picture and they resize it. You need so many. You need like one for the library, one for the icon, one for the big banner on the store page, one for the small banner on the store page, one for updates, one for like everything.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of assets going to making it. You need a minimum of 5 screenshots, plus a trailer, which I edited together from the footage. By the way, that's why these videos all contain the same footage of the game every episode, because I can't record new stuff.
So you should send me a key, man. I would have recorded stuff and sent it over for you.
Yeah, that would be the smart thing to do.
Or I should have bought the game, maybe.
I can send you a key for you if I want one. I just assumed you were sick of it by this point.
I still haven't played the final version. I'm excited for it, man.
I'll send you a key after this.
Thanks. That'll be my payment for the next project.
Yeah. Pay in old games.
Yeah. Excellent. It's perfect.
Getting all the Steam stuff done, none of it's particularly difficult, but like...
Time consuming.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. There's a lot to it. A lot more than you'd expect. And also integrating achievements into the game. You have to actually like edit the game files and like add the code for that.
Of course. I never really thought about that. That makes sense.
It's like a really interesting process that I won't go into details on how to do it. But I enjoyed doing that stuff because it was something quite new and interesting.
Yeah. A big experience of game development as well, because every platform does it now. I don't remember when it started. Here comes the first tangent of the show. But achievements, man, they weren't a thing. Like, we used to play World of Warcraft all the time, and achievements weren't there. And then, obviously, Xbox 360 and stuff, you had big achievements on there, and it became this huge deal. We talked about it before, the gamer score being important, and suddenly achievements made their way into World of Warcraft. And for me, they actually ruined the experience, because it was like, oh, I'm working towards a goal of doing this, and this involves this dungeon, this dungeon, this dungeon. I have to do this in that order, and also this one that I've never heard of before. But it's actually it's a bit like spoilers, isn't it? I know that obviously with Steam they have the hidden achievements and stuff, but for me, World of Warcraft was like about an adventure, about going out with pals and just seeing what was going to happen. If we ended up in a dungeon, we ended up in a dungeon. But this forcefully pushing you down certain paths to achieve rubbish goals, boring goals for me. Oh wow, I get some kind of title for my character or whatever it was, whatever the reward was. I just felt it was pretty bullshit, to be honest. And like, I like achievements, but I never actively seek them. I don't think I have a single platinum trophy on PS4. I did 100% Beam NG Drive in the early days of it being on Steam, but it's gotten away from me now, so I have no games that are 100% on Steam.
Yeah, I think achievements are a weird thing. As you say, I think it started with Xbox 360 and they became so popular that every game has them now. But I honestly believe that like a lot of games don't need them. It doesn't add anything.
I don't think it does. I don't think it's nice, obviously you get them now when you progress. And I was playing God of War, and you're progressing through the story and you get achievements at certain like key points in the game and stuff like that. And it's a nice way to let you know that you've reached a milestone in the game. But I'm not someone who ever opens it up and goes, oh, look, I need to kill 3 animals while holding a piece of tree on my back and having a mask on. It's like, why? Why would I bother fucking doing that? Like, let me just play the game the way I want to play the game and enjoy myself doing it.
Yeah, I think it depends on the game and on the achievements. Like, if there's any achievements where just, hey, you've got to grind out 50,000 kills, I'm not interested.
Walk away. Like, just forget about it.
Yeah, if it's like something that's an interesting challenge, like then I'll go out my way for it then. But it depends on the game. There's very few games I've platinumed, but the ones I have had like interesting achievements that I feel add to the game instead of just are there because it's expected to be there.
That makes a lot of sense. So you integrated the achievements. It was a straightforward-ish task?
Yeah, it wasn't too difficult. It's, again, just time-consuming, I think. But as I say, it was self-imposed crunch time. I had nothing else to be doing, so I just absolutely hammered through this. And actually, I finished the game on Christmas Day, but I finished doing all the Steam stuff on New Year's Day.
So 2 forceful working on holidays just to get that game out. You are already going down the path of the bad game devs, man.
I know, I'm the worst. The thing is, Christmas I had nothing to be doing, but on New Year's I was actually invited to something and totally forgot. I just didn't realise what day it was.
You were just so engrossed in working on the achievements for your game.
Yeah, and then like it was close to midnight. I was like, "Are we still doing that thing?" Like, "Oh yeah, we all started without you." I was like, "Okay, good." I'm just finished doing like Steam stuff.
So did you go to the party? Was it like a BattleBots game launch party, or did you just stay home?
By the time I got there, it would have been like 2 a.m. or
Oh,
something.
sad times, man.
Yeah, so the last thing you need to do before you can put it on Steam is have a human from Valve check it over, make sure it all works
Oh, okay.
correctly, and it's what you're saying it is.
I didn't know they did that. Is the human called GLaDOS? Is it the same human that checks every game? Can you imagine?
I wouldn't be surprised because, like, honestly, the whole thing seemed like a bit of a mess.
Right.
Things that they were checking were like your trailer and your screenshots need to match up with what's in the game, and everything needs to work correctly. So if you say it's got controller support, it needs to have controller support, and it needs to like actually just run when you hit play. Basic things like that. Not checking if it's a good game, checking if it's working and what you say it is.
It is as advertised. So did they hit any red flags when they tested that for you, or was it all up to
Yeah,
code?
I had to actually put it in 3 times because the first time they were like, "This doesn't have controller support," and I'm like, "It definitely does." And then the second time they like came back again, like, "It doesn't have controller support." I'm like, "What can't you do on the controller? Like, you can play the entire game with a controller." And they went, "Oh, we went on the settings menu and then found out if you go on the list of resolutions, it doesn't open up the list when you have a controller. Instead, just toggles through them."
Okay.
But that still works. You can toggle through them and select the one you want. And they're like, "Oh, okay, we didn't think about that." And I can just approve the game like on the
That's-
third try.
That's absolutely fucking crazy. That's some serious fucking red tape bullshit right there.
Yeah, and it's so strange that happened because there's always this constant cases of weird indie games getting through that are either inappropriate and then Valve takes them down, acts disgusted.
Yeah, how could this happen? You test everything. How did that slip through GLaDOS's net? That's what I want to know.
Right, like if every game that gets uploaded there needs to be checked over by a human, it's weird that they can then turn around and go like, "Oh, we didn't know this was like on here. Such a scandal. I know. Oh, we're so bad. We took it down." It's like, you approved it in the first place.
That's bonkers, man. But I suppose they're not looking at it for the content. They're looking at it to do that. It says what it advertises, which I guess some of them do, but not nicely.
Yeah, but you think they would catch like anything that's against their rules, right?
Yeah, you would think so. But their rules are becoming laxer and laxer every day, aren't they, with Steam?
That's true.
The amount of absolute trash that's on there now is just like, oh my
I
god.
know there's this one game called Last Week, and
I've heard good things. And we'll talk about that in Big Kev's final spicy segment.
yeah, we will. So yeah, there's like I did find the whole process weird, and it seems like a lot of people have had like bad experiences with that.
Yeah.
It's weird. I feel like the people who were testing it weren't exactly the brightest, and they didn't really. I don't know if they've just got like a million to get through, just don't give anything like a chance.
Yeah. So they're just like, they're looking for a red flag, and as soon as they find it, they go, right, denied.
Yeah, like I had to like explain to them how to set the resolution, and because I'm confused, like I clicked the resolution like you said and it didn't work. It's like you have to hit the big brightly coloured button that says apply.
To be fair though, like, it says controller support. It doesn't says fully optimized to use controllers only and only controllers. Like, how many people are sitting there on Steam like, oh, I can't use the setting menu with my controller. Well, that's that. I can't play this game. My mouse and keyboard are too far away from me.
That's the other thing. The first time I put is full controller support, which I honestly do think it has. You can play the game start to finish. You can do all the settings and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they were arguing like it's not full controller support because the menus don't work, which they do. But then I was like, okay, we'll put it partial. And they're like, it's not partial either because like the menus don't work. I'm like, so if the entire game but one feature doesn't work, that's not classed as partial controller support.
No.
Like, what is partial if everything but one small thing?
Yeah, no,
Isn't partial.
partial controller support has to mean you can only use the controller for one specific thing.
Yeah, like
Not
that's what I
everything
thought.
but one thing.
Like I would assume if you can play the game, but you have to like pause and do all the settings and menus and stuff with the mouse. I would assume that is partial controller
Yeah,
support.
I would say so.
Yeah, that whole process was weird, but I finally got through. I feel like when they actually put it through, it was more because they realised they were wrong about the menus.
Yeah,
and
and
they
they
just
just
put there as like an
they were just
apology
like,
instead
"Oh,
of like
fuck it."
actually checking the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
Which is
They
also
didn't-
weird.
Once they had that out of the way, they were like, okay, it's through.
Also, you have to like write them a guide on how to like test things. So if you put like
Okay.
say violent scene in, and you're like it's an 18 game, you have to write a guide on how to get to the violent scene. And that was like the weirdest thing to write. It's like, so on day 15, if you go and see this raccoon at a certain time of day and see these options.
Wow. You get like a gun or whatever.
Yeah. Spoilers, don't tell them about the guns.
Sorry.
After all that was said and done, finally, game was done. It was uploaded to Steam. A week before release, Ray finally got in touch and said it was okay to use his music.
boom, everything's coming together.
I think I had like other music lined up ready to switch out, and then he
Yeah.
came through and I was like, whoa, thank God.
And as we discussed last week, you were very happy about that
Oh
result.
yeah, and yeah, that was it. It was time for the launch. It was all plain sailing. And so you haven't played the final game.
I haven't, no.
I kind of didn't want you to play the game before doing the series,
Okay.
because then you can ask questions and be confused about things instead.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how it is. Yep.
I remember that. Yep, I remember that bit. Yep. Done that bit.
Yeah, you can play after this. Maybe we should have had you play it before the final one, then you can give your thoughts. But
Well, maybe we can do an extra bonus review episode.
nah, too much work.
Okay, fair enough.
We're done
So-
after this one.
You finished the game. It's out on Steam. It's ready to buy now, just in case anybody's interested. What was it, $14.99 on Steam right now?
It depends on your country.
Yeah, exactly. How do you feel about it now it's out, now it's available? Are you happy?
Yeah, and like honestly, there's always things you can improve on it. Every time I look at anything I've made, I feel like, oh, this could have been better, that could have been better. If I put another like 6 months in a way, I could add the extra endings. But overall, it's like something I'm very, very proud of, because it's like it's a project I've been wanting to do for years, and just always thought like, oh, I can't make games. It's too much work. It's too difficult. It's too complicated.
Yeah, and I think, as we've discussed many times throughout this series, there's a lot of people who set out to make a game and don't get it finished. So the
Yeah.
fact that you have done it start to finish, it's a game that's completely playable, that has garnered interest, that people obviously has struck a chord with people. We talked about the comments on that guy's playthrough last time, and people are finding things about last week that they love, and I think you're absolutely right to be proud of that, man. I think I'm proud of you. I'm impressed. I think you've done really, really well to get something from scratch. You created everything. It's not just that you've gone into Unity or Unreal and taken someone else's assets and thrown something together and put a game out there. It's not, you haven't gone into RPG Maker and put a game together and thrown that out there. This is a fully fledged game created in Unreal, where you've created everything from scratch. The textures, the dialogue, the models, the whole thing is made by you, and I think that stands alone as an achievement that you should definitely be proud of.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm proud of, but also something I'm ready to like say goodbye to and move on to something new, because it's just been so much of my free time for the last few years.
Yeah, of course, but to have that attitude and still see it through, man, it's like, I know you were, and we talked about it when you were making it. You were sick of it. You wanted it over, and it is over. But you persevered. You saw it through, and so many people would have given up as soon as they start to feel that first pang of like, oh my god, I'm so tired of this.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, because it's such a big project. You have to stick with it, even if you want to move on to other things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like really rewarding when you do stick with it.
Oh, definitely, man. Like you say, you've come to the end of something, and it's there. It's your thing. It's out there. And when you see that game sitting on the Steam page, created by Balbod, it must give you the warm and fuzzies inside. You feel it in your jellies, as you would say.
You leave my jellies out of this. So yeah, once the game was done, it was mostly made for myself, because it's something that I wanted to do. So I didn't really expect it to be a huge smash hit or anything.
No, obviously, and it's so easy to get lost in the garbage pile that is Steam at times.
Yeah, it's like really hard to get spotted these days. And I didn't put really any work into advertising it or anything.
No, you didn't hire me as a marketing agent.
Yeah, I should have done, clearly. But even like when I was messaging Ray about it, I was like, look, I want you to know that like if this game makes money, I'll split it with you. But don't expect it to make any money, okay?
Yeah.
There's a good chance this will make nothing.
And it certainly won't make enough to like make up for the 3 years of time you spent on it.
Yeah, it's like, no, like just having a job for that time would have easily been way more like valuable. But like it's not something I made for the people. It's something I made for myself.
And it's something you've made, again, as we've talked about many, many times. It's something you made to experience it, to garner the skills, and to develop your abilities. And it's a bit like you said about the stuff on your YouTube channel. This is just another string to your bow. You've created something else, something new, something you've never done before, and it's given you a hell of a lot of good experiences along the way, and some great new knowledge that you can now take on and move forward into your next project, man.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The amount I've learned from doing this is insane. And so I really want to make more games now, because I've learned so much. I'm like, oh, I could do it so much better this time. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways, is just the things I've learned.
Yeah.
The reason I was mentioning it not being a huge smash hit is because, I mean, other than the people who pirated it, we already mentioned, and all the people who downloaded that and have played it through that.
Damn pirates. You're the worst pirate I've ever heard of. But you have heard of me.
So, but the other thing was the second I uploaded the game to Steam, my email box was full of people who were wanting free copies of the game.
Yes, we did discuss this. I don't know if we didn't discuss it on show though, did we? It was just between you and I.
I don't think so. There's some who were legitimate people wanting to review it, but like a lot of them were just people pretending to be famous YouTubers or Twitch streamers.
Yeah.
Hang on, I've got some examples for you right here.
Oh, these were brilliant. I remember seeing one of these. It was fantastic. From like PewDiePie's.
Yeah. There's some guy pretending to be a YouTuber called Technoid.
Yeah.
But if you look at his email, you'll realize that's not an N, it's an H.
That is an H. Techhoidgames at Gmail.
So saying, hey, it's Technoid Games over here. I'm a YouTuber Italian and just a regular guy who plays different games. I would like kindly ask you for a 2 review keys to do a series. I have some plans for your product and I believe will be super cool for my auditory and me. Feel free to ask me anything you want.
I like the fact that you needed 2 review keys to do a series.
Well, all of them asked for multiple, it's weird.
That is weird. So what did you respond to this guy?
I responded, hey Techoid, it's an honour to meet someone who is YouTuber Italian and still manages to be just a regular guy who plays different games. That all sounds great. Yeah, the 2 review keys to do a series on. I hope your auditory likes it.
I hope his auditory likes it as well.
I sent him 2 review keys. They weren't real review keys. It was actually just me using letters and numbers to spell out, this isn't a real set of keys, you're a twat.
Oh, that's fucking amazing, man. I didn't realise that. You showed me this before. That's so funny.
Yeah, like that was my hobby for a while, was just annoying these people. Like, I got so many of them. Let's have a quick peek at one more.
Okay, let's do it.
Who's this one? So this is someone pretending to be a YouTuber called Samara Redway.
Okay.
But if you look at the email again, it's Samaria Redway.
Samaria Redway, yes, of course.
Hey guys, contacting you about a game. I'm really interested in making some videos.
Can I just pause you for a second there, mate? That introduction, I think you're wrong. I think you're actually wrong about this one. I think this is a YouTuber. If you look at the first line of this email, that is definitely a YouTuber. Hey guys!
Hey guys! So that is the telltale sign of a YouTuber.
Absolutely. That's how they open everything.
Contacting you about your game. I'm really interested in making some videos on it, starting from next week. I have some fresh content with new games, and I would love to see your game being part of it. Plus, a lot of my subs asked me if I'll have some vids with your game. Which is weird, because I did no advertising for this game.
Yeah, that is weird. How do all of our subs know about you? So weird.
Yeah, it's weird. There's a big audience for it already. Yeah. So why not make them happy, smiley face? Anyway, reply to me if you're interested. I would love to work with you. All I need is just a key to your game. P.S. RN, I'm on 869k subs. Congratulations.
Well done.
And according to my social blade, by the end of the year, I will hit 1 million. So I was thinking about hosting some giveaway with the keys of the games that I were playing. Giveaway will be hosted on Gleam.io, so I can add any of your links for extra entries. If you're interested for this too, reply with links and keys. As many as you wish, can be 3 or 10. Up to you, good luck, have fun. And so I replied, sure, sounds good, but how about we go big? How does 100k sound for a giveaway? You have 1 million subs, so 3 or 10 is nothing, right?
Exactly, yeah, man. What did they respond to that, or did they just be like, no, they know we're a scam?
Yeah, I was really ready for this one. I was thinking, as soon as they reply and say that sounds great, I was going to be like, actually, I've been thinking about it. 100 still nothing. How about we do 1,000? I was just going to keep going up, but they didn't reply.
Reminds me of that guy who replies to scammers. He does like a stand-up thing about it. I think his name's James Veach.
Yeah, I know the guy you mean.
He makes me laugh, man. That fucking rubber duck thing that the rubber duck sketch that he does is fucking brilliant. It's not about scammers, but I loved it.
Did I send you all my email chain with that scammer on the jobs website?
The really big one, yeah. That was amazing. That was the guy who offered you a job, though, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't anything to do with the game.
Yeah, honestly though, like just replying to these scammers is so entertaining. Now that the game is done, I still don't have a job. I've got a lot of free time, and this is how I pass it all by. Okay, just
Responding to Nigerian princes.
yeah. There was one that was pretending to be one of the biggest YouTubers in Japan.
Okay.
But like, I just came back from Japan, so I knew Japanese.
Oh.
And I replied to him, but using like slang words, and it was all in hiragana without any kanji. And so if you're Japanese, you could decode it and know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but it was really bad Japanese. But Google Translate would not be able to handle
It
it.
would just be like, what the fuck?
And he was so confused, and I'm thinking like, aren't you supposed to be Japanese? How could you not figure this out?
What's wrong with you, man? You're the biggest YouTuber in Japan.
I had a lot of fun messing around with them guys. There was so many of them though. There was more people wanting free keys than actually buying the game.
Yeah. Well, I think that's always going to be the case, isn't it? More people are. If something's free, more people want it. Definitely. Look at GTA 5 coming out free on Epic Games last weekend, and people are going crazy for it now. And all of a sudden, the game's a decade old, and now loads of people are playing it again.
Yeah. So I think after that, that's pretty much it done. Scammers was a weird note to end on.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
How about we end on reviews instead?
Let's do it, man.
Have you got a list of the reviews there?
I do, yeah. You sent me that over, and I've got a few things open. Did you want me to go through them, or how are we going to do this?
Yeah, sure. You can read out the highlights.
Okay, man. So, we'll start by going straight into the Steam Curator reviews. You've got 4 full Curator recommendations.
I think there should be 5.
5? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, there are 5, but one of them hasn't written anything.
And it's a weird thing. I've noticed with the curators on Steam, none of them know what type of game it is. I think I accidentally pulled a Kojima and invented a new genre or something, because that game was just like, I've got no idea what this game is, but I like it.
I think it is definitely difficult to give it a proper genre. Last week, the genre. So, followindiegames.com in their Steam Curator review say, the world will cease to be in 1 week. Can you guide a protagonist through their remaining time on Earth and figure out the best way to spend it? I mean, that's a really good tagline. I actually had to check that was what they had written and not what you had put in as the game's description, but they recommended it.
I couldn't rate something that good.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So they've got four images that I can see on the front of their curator page, and last week is recommended. The other 3 are just informational. They're not recommended, so, they obviously like that game. Follow Co-op or Solo said, last week is a singular and very unique adventure in which players will decide the route to take upon the end of the world. Interestingly good characterization and art design. That's a big thumbs up to Balbot. Interestingly good characterization and art design.
Again, I like how it's a very unique adventure. I don't know what type of game it is, but it was good.
Yeah,
I like it.
I can't pigeonhole this game as such, but I really like the way that it looks and feels.
Yeah. I didn't set out to make a new genre or anything like that. I was just planning on making a game and thought that would be simple.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does exist as a genre. It's a mixture of genres. It's kind of a visual novel. It's kind of whatever Night in the Woods is. It's kind of a walking simulator.
I think Night in the Woods is actually surprisingly similar to my game.
Yeah, and that came out while you were working on your game. So I remember when it came out, you were like, bastards.
I should look at whatever they label their game as. I feel like that's a very good comparison.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Anthro/furry tag, the curator on Steam, said, recommended. Talky adventure game of sorts. Not sure how to call such a genre. Furries! But you get news that you have only 1 week until the end of the world. So, yeah.
That's a review.
Again, unable to kind of pigeonhole the game, but, they're excited about it. They're clearly excited about it. They used at least 1 exclamation mark. Follow English subtitles as well. They apparently, as a curator, have got it on their list, but they haven't written anything about it, so I can't see a review of any kind.
That was another weird thing with Steam. The complaint I had English subtitles written is one of the features, but there's no subtitles. But the game's all text.
The whole thing is text, yeah. It doesn't need subtitles. Are you going to put in the subtitles?
Yeah, it's weird.
Very strange. And also, Noteworthy Video Games 3. They put your game on there.
Again, they wrote a little paragraph for every game, and then mine just I don't know what to say. Recommended.
Recommended. Click yes on this. And then you got two full-on reviews that you pushed over to me from independent web pages. Did you provide review copies to these guys, or is it just something that
No,
they...
I think they just picked it up themselves.
Yeah, that's really nice. So Julia Couture at Indie Games Plus wrote a really in-depth, not massive review, it's a few paragraphs long, but a very good in-depth review of it, which she ends by saying, "There are many different endings to unveil as you watch the world come to an end. If you're the type that needs to see them all, you've certainly got your work cut out for you, but it will hardly feel like a job. Last week offers wildly different scenarios for your choices, and you will be dying to see them all."
Hey.
So that in itself, man, that is obviously the dying thing is both a pun and a compliment, because it's, they're using referencing the fact that it's the last week on Earth, but also saying that you are going to want to see every ending of this game. It's going to be worth your putting your time in to try and unlock everything and see the whole game, because it's an experience, and every different playthrough gives you something new, which is really nice.
So any review with a put in is automatically a good review in my books.
Yeah, absolutely.
They could have said, "This game is trash," but if they put a pun in there, I'd be all for it.
Yeah, they should have done some kind of animal pun as well. That would have just pushed it right. I would have read the whole thing if they'd done that. But no, that must be amazing. An amazing feeling to have not just one, and there's another review site as well, which has got your game featured. And indiegamereviewer.com, it's less complimentary, but it's still very positive review. They sum it up by saying, "Since the game is more focused on narrative and repeated playthroughs, the characterization isn't quite as deep as it could be, and it leans a little bit too hard on stereotypes, like the strident social justice warrior insisting the Bible be rewritten without the sexist parts, but the dialogue is snappy and the animations are charming despite the minimalist approach. It also got a couple of surprise twists, leaving me curious enough to start a repeat playthrough as soon as I finish my first ending."
Pretty good.
So again, they're talking about the limitations that you game has, and that's fair enough. It is a small scale game. It's developed by one person, so there was only so much that you could really put into it. They say that the characterization isn't deep, but then they also say that the dialogue is snappy and the animations are charming. So you've nailed some aspects of it, according to them, where other aspects they weren't so pleased with. But again, they talk about that replayability, which is absolutely key in a game of this type, I feel. They've brought it back round to say, you are definitely going to want to play this more than once.
Yeah, they also mention A Night in the Woods. They say think A Night in the Woods crossed with melancholia. I don't know what that is.
The feeling, not a thing, just being melancholic,
No, it says afterwards, in brackets, "The Lars von Trier's film, not the emotion."
Oh, does it? Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the first one where they said you've got modernist melancholy with a side of anthropomorphic animals. Okay, no, I've never seen Melancholia, but maybe we should check it out.
Maybe. I wasn't thinking about Night in the Woods, but that is a really good comparison.
Yeah, I think it's obviously gonna. You can't. No game can be released without drawing some comparison to something else. I would say that last week is the Dark Souls of narrative games. To call back to an inside joke that wasn't even in this show, but there you go.
I don't know if that's even an inside joke. I think that's just an old internet joke.
Yeah, fair point.
There was a time where every review site, or just any games media, referred to everything as, "This is the Dark Souls of such and such."
The Dark Souls of racing games.
It's just like a weird way to say, it's hard, but got tight controls. Yeah. It's the Dark Souls of this.
It's the Dark Souls of hidden object games.
This is the Dark Souls of fairy games, apparently.
I would say so.
One last review. There's only one person on Steam actually reviewed the game.
Yeah, the actual reviews, and you're gonna have to do this one for me, because I need an explanation for part of this review.
So the title is "A Truly Unique Adventure That Is Worth Your Time." Again, it's a unique adventure. What type of game? I don't know. How will you use the last week of your life? You'll most likely spend it with other people. Try and help them with their problems. Maybe make them a better person, befriend everyone in town. You might also want to jump on crates, cars and dustbins, and even into the ocean. Kick a soccer ball around town, practice marksmanship, find a specific sequence of events and survive, then cross that last one out.
Yeah, that's the specific part that I wanted an explanation for. Is it too spoilery to go into details on that one? But
there is a way to survive it. but it is
So
difficult.
they've crossed it out because they haven't found it.
Actually, he did. He's one of the first people who like 100% did that. I could tell.
Really? Okay. Good job.
Yeah. So this guy, he 100%ed it after like 4.2 hours, and then did the review, and then he went back for like another hour and like 20 minutes ish.
And played more.
I was sort of seeing what he was up to because he kept posting screenshots and stuff.
Okay, really? That's interesting.
So this guy gave it a real once over. Yeah, there's like a lot of people said that was a helpful review there, but not many people actually posting reviews, which is a shame.
One of the people that said it was a helpful review was me. So
Son of a bitch. There isn't many reviews, but all of them have been positive so far, which is nice.
Yeah,
I'm sure if it was like opened up to like a bigger amount of people reviewing it, then there'd be a lot more negative ones in there.
yeah, and this is the case with everything. The more hands that the game gets into, the more negative reviews it's going to have. But that's a really good percentage, man. That's 100% positive reviews on Steam, and I would say 100% positive reviews overall. And I think because it's a specific type of game, because it's quite a small scale indie game, you are going to get people picking it up who know that they're interested in the genre.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is
whatever the
right now
genre
it's
is.
small enough that the people who are giving it a chance are probably interested in that sort of stuff anyways.
Yeah, so they're more likely to enjoy it anyway. It's got when you're talking about it doesn't have a genre, it's got a bit of the kind of the Life is Strange vibe to it. It's got a bit of Telltale's The Walking Dead series about it as well. It's that kind of narrative-based adventure game, albeit with slightly less
a little bit
action than those two titles, I suppose.
Oh, you haven't got into the later bits.
No, I haven't, and I haven't found a lot of the stuff in it.
But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. It's a good point to leave on and go to Big Kev's final segment.
Okay, we've got something for Big Kev's final spicy segment.
I mean, not much. For comments, again, nothing. We had a bot, but then YouTube deleted his account again.
Yeah,
because
I saw
these guys keep finding me.
The video says 2 comments, but there
I
aren't
think
any
that's
comments.
the bot, and then me replying to the bot.
Right, okay. Can you tell me what it said?
Let's have a look. I did take a picture.
Okay, so this one, the highlighted comment by Music. Here before 3,000 subscribers. Thanks for providing this content. Let's be YouTube partners. Oy.
Like, it's such a classic bot name of just music.
Yeah, that is a great YouTube channel, Music. I go on there all the time.
What do people on YouTube like? Music. We will name our channel that.
Yes, the humans like music. And you responded, how do you guys keep finding my videos? Am I on some kind of secret list that you all pass around for your underground robot meetings? Like, does Johnny Five come in all excited and shout, hey, Robros, that son of a gun Balbino has only gone and uploaded another one. And this is such exciting news that those squiddy guys from the Matrix stop snorting blow off Robocop's stainless steel arsehole and draw straws to see who'll be the lucky devil to post a comment this week. Oh, and thanks for the comment, man. It means a lot.
Yeah, there's a nice little link to a gif of Johnny Five spazzing out in the middle there as well.
Oh, man. I love me some Johnny Five. It's a great reference, man. The next project should definitely have a Johnny Five reference in it somewhere.
Yeah, we're just making Johnny Five the game next, right?
That's such a good idea. Right, scrap everything else. We're making Johnny Five the game.
I don't think you can make Johnny Five these days. I think it's not exactly a PC.
Well, the first one's fine. It's the second one that has a problem.
Was the blackface not in the first one?
No, he might have been briefly, but he's not a major character. He's a major character in the second one.
I barely remember them. All I remember is that time he like welded spikes to his head and was suddenly a punk.
Yeah, he was a badass. That was the end of number 2. Not that I'm an expert or anything. I'm not the authority on Short Circuit and Short Circuit 2, starring Steve Guttenberg and Ali Sheedy.
Sure you're not. Can't fool me. Not much in the way of comments as per usual, but I think it's time to look at the tag game results.
Okay, yes, the results are in. Drumroll, please.
So I think, totally not because I cheated by having the first episode where people were actually, willing to watch this and weren't sick of it. And also I had 3 episodes when you only had 2.
Yeah, but I had multiple tags.
Yeah, but the tags don't actually do anything. This whole game was flawed from the beginning.
That's true.
So surprisingly, I won. Yay! I'm
well done, Balbot. Congratulations.
I'm the best at this really broken game I just made up on the spot, like when we first started making this.
I think it was a fun little sidetrack though.
Definitely. It's a nice way to wrap up. So it's kind of a shame we can't do it this week because there'll be no way to come back to it.
Can't. No. Well, one day, but not in the immediate future.
I tell you what, when we finish the next game, and then we're doing like, you know, behind the scenes on that. We'll bring back the tag game.
I'm well up for that, man.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have like more than 100 views, so it'll actually work.
And people, maybe we'll try and keep them a bit shorter so we don't ramble on for 45 minutes every single episode.
That was a weird thing of just every episode. I was like, okay, this is what we need to talk about. I've made a list of notes. It'll be like 10 minutes tops. And then somehow every episode is 45 minutes exactly.
Yeah, it's trippy. Even last week, where I've honestly felt like we recorded for 30 minutes, right, and the episode is still 45 minutes.
And it's like weird, like, if we record for 2 hours and I edit down all the stuff we can get rid of, it's 45 minutes. If we record for 50 minutes and I edit out the stuff, it's 45 minutes. Like, how?
Yeah. When we end up recording for 2 hours, though, it is because we just go off on massive tangents.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's a big part of it. When it's 45 minutes, we're probably both a bit tired and we just want to get it done and we just, like, focus on the task at hand kind of thing.
So originally, I was just going to do these myself. It was like I wrote scripts for it, and it was just going to be like going through. It was going to be very kind of to the point, and almost like a tutorial. Like, this is how I made a game.
Yeah, sure.
Honestly, I'm so bad at recording myself that I kept putting it off, and when I did attempt it, it was terrible. And so I was like, hey, I'm calling the Bebemenko. We're just turning like some weird podcast thing instead. That's how we're going to get
pseudo podcast. And the ironic thing is, if you'd done it by yourself, you probably would have gotten more views because they would have been 15 minutes long max, and that's the YouTube magic number.
Like, we're aiming to be like 10 minutes an episode, but I feel like it would have been like less fun to make by far.
Yeah, man. I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed being here for this, and I obviously used to do the podcast. I've missed doing the podcast, so it's been really nice. So thanks for the invite. I appreciate it. It's been great fun.
And it's like we're saying with the game. Like, you know, I was terrible at recording myself. It's something that was outside of my comfort zone. I'm still not great at it, but I'm a lot better at it, and I'm a lot more comfortable with it.
Yeah, and I think it is definitely easier when it's conversational.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been very good at just talking. Like, I did a bit of streaming as well back in the day. Twitch.tv/Eremenko for those that are interested, and I don't do anything anymore, to be honest, so there's nothing there, zero content. But I always find it really difficult to talk to myself, and because I didn't have much of a viewer base, there wasn't many comments coming in that I could interact with. I remember I was playing Norman Sky when that first came out, and you guys were in the chat and stuff. We were naming plants and animals and things like that, and it was a bit of fun. But I just found that I didn't have the patter to carry a stream by myself, kind of thing. So yeah. I know exactly where you're coming from. It's really nice to have somebody to just bounce back and forth with conversationally.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd like to conclude on, the saying, like, you know, same with this and with the game. They're both things that were really out of my comfort zone, things that I was terrible at, things I had to do like a lot of learning for.
Yeah, man.
And I definitely feel like that's something people should do more often. So often people are like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I wish I could do that. I can't, though. I'm not good enough for it. I think people should just try stuff.
And hopefully, you know, this series will inspire somebody to go out and do that, you know? They'll be like, Balbod can do it. I can do it. Like, why the fuck not?
Honestly, I believe anyone can do it. If there's something you want to do, like, most people are capable of learning how to do new skills. Just go out and try it, okay?
You hear that, viewers? Balbod believes in you.
Some of you. Can't be too nice now. That's the rules.
Some of you suck.
Yeah. You know, you got to treat him mean to keep him keen.
Jack Troll. I believe in Jack Troll.
Yeah, that guy could do anything. Look at him. It's huge. So anyways, yeah, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, great stuff.
Do you want to say a creepy goodbye one last time?
Bye.
See ya.